Welcome to Corning, New York, and the Corning Museum of Glass. This is a company town. This is known as Crystal City. Your glass is sass here in Corning, New York at the Corning Museum of Glass, where, like acorns for winter, we are stocking up on fall vlogs in anticipation of running a deluge of post-spooky season content when the weather is too cold for quality conversations, and we are being hermetic and listening to electronic music and drinking lattes. You are watching Peak Merch. Let's go. And where else can you eat, chicken fingers in a sleek Silicon Valley style setting? Corning is a company town. Corning, New York, Corning Museum of Glass. Corning glasses, they make that Gorilla Glass that's in your iPhones. Maybe even in the device you're watching this on right now. But it's different from a lot of company towns. It's less stuffy. It doesn't have that Silicon Valley vibe. We are in upstate New York. Called America's Crystal City. So yeah, I'm gonna eat these chicken fingers, bop around, learn about glass. There's a huge glass museum of glass art, and of course visit the gift shop on our way up to Rochester. Let's go. Yeah, and as we talk about the utility of doing one of the workshops here, it's worth noting they don't come without risk. These Corning folks are professionals, but this is a don't try this at home situation. So, because you can get filaments in your face. Is that worth it for your art? Think responsibly, YouTube. This is a don't try this at home video. Jobless. No matter where I go, I can't get away from Chihuly. He had a show at the Fairchild Tropical Garden of Miami, Florida, which I'll probably take you to someday. He's at the Bellagio. He's in all the botanical gardens, really, across the country. And of all the corporate kind of artists who'll do these commissions, I think his work is some of the prettiest. I like him a lot better than Brito, another Florida artist. But yeah, no matter where you go, you can't get away from Chihuly. So, them's the ropes. Let's learn about glass, and then we'll look at more art. What do you say? I like the form follows function nature of this museum as well. Like, it's very minimal and streamlined. It's about glass, but it's designed using glass as a prominent material, high in the mix. And this is where they do a glass breaking demo, but they're not doing it this time of year. Apparently, if you come here, just a heads up, it's a summertime thing and on occasional school breaks. But I'll give you a little window here into sort of how it works. They have these pistons, and they get an angle there. Oh, the glare glass, am I right? But yeah, these pistons fire really fast at this glass we're looking through, and they sort of show you how it works. So yeah, again, they make the glass in your iPhones. I think it's called Gorilla Glass, and maybe that's another company. I don't know. This is kind of like a little history of impact. Pretty cool. And shaped glass, a pressing solution. There you go. Pretty cool. There a couple of years. Sea glass. Sea glass bend. Here's the match. Alright, so now I need to remove the handle rod. I want to melt that off of there. And notice I warm up my tweezers a little bit before I grab onto the body here. The body started to cool a little bit. It is still several hundred degrees though, and if I grab it with cold metal, there's a chance that could shock the glass. It could cool it so severely, so unevenly that it winds up cracking. So it's always wise to warm the tool a little bit before you do that. And there we have our dog. So
If you would like to take a closer look, by all means, feel free to come right up here. And if you have any questions for me, stick around. I'm going to take the headset off in a moment. I'll come right out of the booth. Be happy to answer any questions. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your visit.
Woo!
Here.
Excellent. Fresnel lens, baby. This is what was used in the lighthouses. Yeah. Pretty cool. Oh my god. What in the hell? I didn't even know glass could get sick, but I guess it's a molecularly unstable solid, crystalline solid. I also love these anthropomorphic like chemistry tools. These two might be my favorite though. Although no, you know what? She's my favorite because she's really putting in the work. She's having a good time. That's what it's all about. Or maybe her. Alright, cuz, hear me out. I learned that Pyrex was invented because a physicist who moved here in 1914, his mother broke a casserole dish, and he was like, I have an idea. I think the glass in these battery casings at auto shops will work. So he saws one off for her and gives it to her as a cake baking casserole dish. And the cake bakes perfectly through, and then he discovers that he can market borosilicate glass and Pyrex, and that's the birth of the Pyrex company. That's what I learned.
So which part of that was hear me out? I think it's true.
This is just such a cool museum. I love the melding of art and science and how both are kind of given the respectful context and appreciation. And you could argue glassblowing sort of marries both art and science. But yeah, we're having a great time here. You really need, we got here at like 1 and we're gonna probably close it down. You really need some time here to fully appreciate everything because both museums are huge, both sections. So anyway, yeah, we're clearly in the contemporary art section.
This is a piece about making glassblowing language more inclusive to all. It's traditionally a very masculine language art form.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting.
Totally. Is this cube fuzzy or is it just glass? Joseph Gashmuk's broken borosilicate glass, which we used as the really malleable stuff used in Pyrex. Bonded wood, adhesive, and metal. And borosilicate. There you go. Bariku 3006 2007. He's going for like an Om Kawara thing here, I suppose. So I says to Hannah, I says, do you see, which may be kind of like a red dragon thing, but I didn't mean it that way. She goes, yeah, the parrot. I say, no, these are trees. But she points out rightfully that there are parrots. They're parrot glasses. If these curators are parrot heads, I'm leaving. Here's Song Dong's 1,000 Hands. And here's Endeavor by Lino Tagliapietra. Tagliapietra. Made in Seattle, Washington. There you go. Look at this. This is like the nature section of the museum. Pretty spectacular, huh? Look at this, kind of like Pokemon grade friend. Pretty cool. Look at this. Carrots.
They are dancing.
They're kind of Frankenstein-esque carrots. I heard Guillermo del Toro's been on the Ozempic, guys, so look out.
Well, I this feeling, this wish that in an emergency situation to charge your phone, you could plug one phone into another phone, like as a battery pack. Maybe that's what these carrots are doing.
Yeah,
like carrots growing into carrot.
Carrot power.
Yeah.
I'm into it. And not everything in this museum is my taste, but a lot of it is. And you know, you see some of it and you say to yourself, how is this even glass? What's really going on here? Who am I? Where am I? Glass. It's really something. And I'm into it. And this exhibition, Brilliant Colors, is so expansive. And the West Wing covers the history of glassmaking, glass types, you know, Venetian glass, you know, Islamic glass. It's all over the place. And, you know, musical instruments made of glass. I mean, it just keeps going like this. That's why I'm saying this is a full day establishment. If you're coming here, look, I got here at 1. I'm going to close it down at 5. I still will not feel as if I have slowly and thoroughly explored it, done all the demonstrations, and perused the merch, which of course I'm leaving time for. I'm not a monster. That's why we're here, isn't it? So, you and I at least, you know, not everybody in my party. We like to learn, but I'm also on vacation. That's what I'll say. We'll talk. These ancient snuff bottles are from like Beijing in like 1644. The Qianlong Marken period. Oh no, some Qing dynasty too. There's a bunch of eras covered. So they named the crystal section of this exhibit Crystal City because, as I mentioned earlier, Corning, New York is called the Crystal City. And the Corning businessman Elias B. Hungerford, who had the patent for glass window blinds. No glass making facilities in the region. So he forms a relationship with the Houghton family, who owned the Brooklyn Flint Glass Company. He got them to relocate from Brooklyn to Corning. Here we are, baby. Corning Glass Works with the gift shop to match. And this is interesting, but they delineate between what this would be called crystal, right? Like a traditional wedding crystal, and actual, you know, rock crystal. Most of this china is called crystal because it mimics the rock crystal. And that's a mineral that plays off light, as this does. But it's just a type of glass. Crystal is more of an aesthetic reference than an actual, you know, acknowledgement that it is crystal. So anyway, thought that was interesting. This history of glass is at once intimate and expansive, much like this infinity mirror sculpture that marks the end of the modern section, but we'll keep moving. We're going to speed run what we can on the rest of the museum, and then, yeah, take you to the gift shop. Alright, here's the deal. This place is so big, I had to move along. The museum shops is what they call the whole first floor, and Corningware is, I believe what it's called, is their line of homewares and glassware that they make. Well, there's also merch, you know, for the museum itself, the Museum of Glass, which we'll start off at looking at. And then there's just a lot of art pieces and things they commission that all seem pretty special too. So yeah, let's find something special. You get a marble finish machine for $3. So we're gonna have to be doing that. Looks like the marble has Corning Museum of Glass on it too. So many specialty marbles here as well. These imported eyeball marbles, imported tie-dye marbles, imported commando marble, whatever the hell that is, imported spaghetti marble. We're gonna see marbles later in our journey on this trip. Corning actually made a marble, the world's largest glass marble, for the Museum of Play in Rochester, where we're headed tomorrow. So there you go. We'll keep moving. going like this. And we are here right at the start of spooky season, so they're really hawking these glass pumpkins. You can actually make them in the Corning studio and sign up for a class. A little more partial to these guys, though. What do you think of these glass ghosts? Pretty cute, huh? This is cool. They've got a decent amount of merch for the history exhibit. Brilliant color, including this magnet, that postcard. Looks like there's a tote down here, and a mug, too. And then they have, I think, it does look like they have an exhibition book. It's hard to tell. No, it says C on it. I think Corning did publish it. And then some puzzles, some note cards, some more magnets. So yeah, there you go. I mean, hey, don't threaten me with a good time, right? I got this in a button form, and a patch. Looks like it says Glass Nerd on these water bottles too. Come in a few colors as well. Pretty neat. Oh, and even a lanyard. Look at that. Glass Nerd lanyard. One thing I don't remember from when I was here a few years ago is the studio merch section, where whether you just took a class in the studio or maybe even like a serious deep study, there's a whole line of merch branded to the studio specifically, including, it looks like, some actually merch of utility, like an apron, and they sell tools here too, I guess, for poking and prodding, for glass making. I like this shirt for the studio actually a lot. It's pretty cool. And unless I'm mistaken, this shirt actually has the class of 2025 on it, so how nice. A commemorative shirt showing who's kind of, I guess, graduated, I'm assuming, unless I'm wrong, graduated from the school this year. Really nice. This is amazing. They actually have minifigures of the glass blowers who work here, or who study here, including their little glass blowing kits. They're $15. It's a blind box, which means you don't know who you're gonna get. And then they also have some enamel pins with the logo of the museum on it as well. Here, I'll pull one out for you. Definitely gonna snag one of these. Maybe a minifigure too. We'll see. Can we get in focus? There we go. Nice. And let me just say how impressed I am with the merch here. I guess they have a thing called Adopt a Glass Pet Day. And they have tote bags celebrating the 10th anniversary of this program, along with puzzles and then even shirts. This is obviously a youth size, but look at that. Amazing. And just a few more logo pieces here to show you. And they got a hoodie too, and a shirt. Alright, we're gonna pop around and start looking at the art glass here, because there's so much of it. Like this Emilio Santini case from Blacksburg, Virginia. So we'll keep moving. Alright, family, show us your tokens. No cash value. What could it be for?
What kind of value is there if it's not cash?
Why don't you put it in there and find out? You want to go first, Michelity?
All right. Okay, first of all, the name of this piece is Marvelous, which is great.
Maybe the tuna?
Blue? Doing something.
Oh, there it goes, there it goes.
What'd you get? What'd you get?
Marvelous.
We got a black one.
Benihana, where dinner is the show.
What does it say?
You could take home a piece of Ross Delano's unicorn poo for $52, or like $45. These Puppet Regime window catchers by Genevieve Gear are incredible and very spooky. Definitely getting one of those. And Lynn LaBar's paperweights. She's from Cooper's Plains, New York. These are quite handsome as well. This is interesting to me. It looks like every spooky season they pick a pumpkin design that becomes like their pumpkin of the year. So this is Tom Ryder. Tom Ryder's design from 2024, so I guess they're waiting on the 2025 reveal. It's still early September, so nothing to be worried about. It is glass tiki. Well, it depends on who you ask, but it is gorgeous. Either way, I'm not even going to look at the prices of these because I'll definitely want one. Deborah Zersko's work is excellent. Alright, so there is a top pumpkin of 2025. It's Ross Delano's Cosmic Unicorn Pumpkin. This Ross Delano, I tell you, he loves the unicorns. No shame in the game. But, yeah, don't copyright me, Mariah. You know what? The royal we is an I think this place really illuminates a profound disconnect between science and art. And the scientific educational aspects of the museum had an artistic bent. There were optical tricks and things to learn while also being tripped out. Meanwhile, the artistic sections of the museum had a technical bent. They had a scientific bent as well, because you learned about the techniques and the different glass types and the things that went into achieving the grade of bend that allowed for such creativity and the colors and all that stuff. So yeah, well, just a really great time. We're going to, like I said earlier, store these vlogs up for fall. This is just the first day of our Rochester trip. So yeah, we'll see what happens today. I'm not going to take you home quite yet, but really awesome day, even if this is the last thing we do here in Corning, New York, at the Corning Museum of Glass. All right, I told you we aren't done. We made it to Rochester, home of the garbage plate, and we're here at the spot Dogtown to try a garbage plate. So that's what's up. Let's see what the deal is. And already, guys, the plates are coming out. This is the veggie junkyard plate. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's a chicken finger plate. This is what's called a split plate. That's some hot dog and some cheeseburger. Pray for me. Pray for me. Pray for me.
Couldn't take the hit. That was when things were.
This is as far as I got. Well, this is as far as I got tonight, Rock City fam. But you know what? I tried. I feel like the macaroni was a nice palate cleanser. The sort of coolness cuts through the meat sauce. And I did all my meats, but I didn't do all my everything else. I also really liked the raw onions. I thought it was a nice touch. The sort of bite, the acid bite, brought you back to reality after you were in Meat Town. From Dogtown to Meat Town. Anyway, I got the 6 sticker of this rabid, cute little dog. And there's Brett, and they have a few other shirts too. I'll show you on the way out, and then we'll probably take this day home, but we'll see. And real quick, here's the Dogtown logo. It's pretty cute. You got some embroidered name of the resto here on the side, Rochester. And they got several shirts. That gray one there on the wall is kind of my favorite. Alright, we survived. Didn't finish, but had a good time, so probably heading in for the night. Well, that was a pretty solid first day. We learned about glass, we saw art made with glass, we saw pumpkins, and we barely survived our first garbage plate. But I'd call this a successful day one. We're here in Rochester, more adventures tomorrow. For now, that's been Brett, that's been P-Dog, that's been Hannah, I've been Jess, you've been patient, and you've just watched Peak Merch. Bye-bye now.